Are live. How's it going, everyone? Today we're here with the project building a multisig wallet on Solana that looks to close the security gap for DAOs and treasuries. A lot is going on here, and it's really exciting because this project came out of the recent Hacker House in Chicago and has recently entered in the Serum X Wormhole Convergence Hackathon. Luckily, today we have Shashank, Rebecca, and Charlotte joining us, so we're going to get right into it. And how's it going, everyone?
Great.
Good.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, it's amazing to have you guys here. And really, just to start things out, what is Cashmere Wallet and what was the goal behind this?
Yeah, well, Cashmere Wallet, as you said, is a multi-sig wallet on Solana. And we're really looking to make transfer and management of funds so much more secure rather than storing all of your funds in a phantom wallet, perhaps all of your startup's funding or your DAO's funds or anything like that. You can put all of your funds into the Cashmere wallet and create transaction requirements like M out of N signers are required for a transaction to be completed.
Awesome. Yeah. So the idea of a multi-sig is it allow pretty much in more layman terms, you can put multiple users to sign a transaction, pretty much adding more security, this aspect of decentralization. Was this something that when you guys came on to Solana, is there other teams building this? I'm not sure if I've seen one. Have you guys seen it, or was this what sparked you guys to build this?
Yeah, so it's interesting on the Solana side. Project Serum had done like sort of a base implementation of it, which is what we based it off of. And it hasn't there was a UI, but it wasn't really meant for like sort of fund transfers. It was meant for like upgrading programs and things like that. And so we decided to take that and like move it in the product direction to see like, hey, startups are raising money and they're storing all these funds in hot wallets. So there has to be a better solution for it. That was our initial.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That makes a ton of sense. It's something that's so core and is pretty fundamental on Ethereum. Like this is something that has been there for a while. So to make something easily accessible by projects is great. And just for a little bit of context, it'd be great to go around here, touch a little bit on each of your backgrounds, but then also the beginnings of Cashmere Wallet. I know I touched on it a little bit, but we can start with Shashank, a little bit about your background, and we'll go around to Rebecca and then Charlotte.
Yeah, so before doing Cashmere, I used to work in finance. I used to do like risk for underwriting loans. And then before that, I worked at Amazon. So if you order anything using your Alexa, like when you say, Alexa, buy me a sandwich or something, but you can't actually buy you a sandwich, but it can buy you other things, I built that feature.
That's awesome.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I come from a software engineering background, and I was previously working at a firm for a while doing like full stack development. And then after that, I went to work at Retool for a couple of months. And then Shashank and I decided to start getting into the crypto space a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so my background was actually as a software engineer at Tesla. I worked on our media team and primarily did kind of like distributed systems work, lots of data pipelining and building out applications in the vehicles.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And I'm not too technical at all. I mean, you guys were here doing some last minute debugging, which was great to see from my end. But just, I love asking this question, especially when I'm talking to projects building on Solana, because it's amazing seeing the talent pour in here and really seeing people from traditional tech jump into the space and start building and innovating and just creating these things from the ground up. It's awesome seeing the talent pour in. And that's really what brought me closer to Solana versus other chains like Binance Smart Chain, where we started our media network at. So really interesting to hear that. And then maybe just for a little more context on the beginnings of Cashmere, I know I mentioned that you guys were building this in Chicago at the Hacker House. What was the process behind this? How was the experience behind that? How is it working in the Solana ecosystem?
Yeah, Charlotte has a perfect story for you for how we began this whole journey.
So Becca kind of touched on this a bit, but Shashank and Becca had been kind of in conversation about wanting to build something out in the crypto space. Also earlier last year in August, Shashank and I had attended Miami Hack Week, which was the first time they were holding it actually. And that was kind of when we got a bit more exposed to the crypto space and started talking to some people actually in the Solana community. So Becca and Shashank came to me, I believe in October, and they were like, hey, we're interested in building something in crypto. Would you be interested in joining us? And I was like, sure. So what we ended up doing was we went to this hackathon that our friend was hosting in Bogota, Colombia.
Awesome.
And at the time, we were like completely in a different space. We were thinking of building on Ethereum and like building out loans. And so we spent a week going ham on that. And we were like, kind of by the end of the week, we were deciding, do we want to go all in or not? And so we decided by the end of the week that we want to work together and went all in on it. Kind of stuck to the idea for about a month and then decided that it just wasn't like the project that we wanted to build out. And so we went back to the drawing board and kind of created this idea matrix of all these different things that we'd be interested in working in. And what ended up ranking at the top was DAO tooling. So we limited our scope to that, but still didn't quite have like a product in mind yet. And then what happened was Shashank attended Decentral, which was the week of Art Basel in Miami, and went around talking to NFT artist collectives and crypto startups and asked them, what do you guys need? And the overwhelming response from the Solana community was multisig on Solana. So really, like, it wasn't like, you know, a moment of genius, like coming up with an idea. We just asked people what they wanted and built it for them.
No, that's awesome. And really just figuring out what the ecosystem needed, getting a pulse. It seems like even though you guys may be newer entrants to the space, you guys have been bouncing around to these hackathons all over the place. What has the experience been hands-on building? This is my first event, and it's just been great being here with all of the other builders. What has the experience been behind that? How's the help been as well?
Yeah, so one of the coolest things about the Solana community is the developer ecosystem and their focus on developers. I think this is like so important for any blockchain. And you know, in Chicago, when we went there, we saw that we could hang out with literally like Armani and Jari, like folks who have like been fundamental to the Solana ecosystem, and they were, just wanted to shout out to them, but like they were willing to, you know, step in, look at the code, help us out in the places we were stuck at. And so just the entire community has been fantastic. Barrett and Edgar were people who like originally inspired us to like look at Solana and build it. Anchor was still new back then. Now the system is much more mature. We're still building it out, so it's just so cool to feel like you're being a part of the future. That's been my experience.
And having that experience going from Ethereum to Solana, what would you say the differences are? Would you ever cross that moat back, or do you think you're here for Solana to build on?
Yeah, man, it's so much cheaper. There's so many things we can do. We can like just testing out the wallet would cost us so much money. But outside of that, I honestly, like, I mean, Becca and Char, you guys probably have your own responses, but for me, what brought me to Solana was the quality of developers here and the quality of people building on it. And it's like, you know, you follow your smartest friends, and if they think something is valuable, probably is. So that was kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a new frontier, and like kind of building off what he was talking about with the community. It's like building a startup on the Solana, like in the ecosystem, has been incredible. Like it doesn't feel like a lonely journey at all. Like we have such a great support network.
Yeah. That's amazing. And Shashank, you were talking about testing it out. We're talking about doing a demo here, so I think it'd be great to just jump in. We can pop in here. Let me make sure we have this screen on here, and we can do one of these numbers, something like that.
One thing I want to mention, since you were talking about Ethereum and Solana, the easiest way to think about an Ethereum equivalent for us is Gnosis Safe on Ethereum. And to set up a Gnosis Safe, it requires you $600. And so we're about to do this right now, and it seems like you're totally comfortable.
How much does this cost?
I think it's like some cents or something. Let's call this Solana News, and go for it.
Yeah, so you can see on the create page that you can add multiple owners, and then you can set the number of signers required for your transactions. The long-term dream here actually is like not only to have M out of N signers, but you could have like something that you can completely customize, like have percentage ownerships or like different roles within your wallet, and have a much more granular or customizable
experience. Yeah, and so this is kind of what it looks like at the start. I mean, you can like, you know, deposit funds here, and you know, look at, and it'll sort of pull up all the tokens that you have. And you have USD coin, and we have validation on like how much you you have. We know what members you're at, and how many signers are required. This is something what like sort of a more fleshed out wallet would look like.
Yeah, just
I'll just jump on there.
Yep.
Okay. So you can see you have like sort of various different assets. We support all kinds of tokens with SPL tokens. And we're building out NFT support right now. So that'll be cool. So this is something like, anytime you have a transaction, you can see here we have sort of 3 members. And anytime you make a new transaction, it'll show up as pending. You have your other members, other signers approve. Then you can go ahead and execute.
No, this is great. And this is exactly what you were figuring out at Decentral, right? We were asking projects what they wanted, and they needed a secure way to have multiple people on a wallet, multisig. So this is a great way to have a UI and do it. I don't think I need to speak too much more on it. It's very elegant how it's put. And really just moving this forward, I'm going to jump back here. And I'm just curious how it was entering the Convergence Hackathon and what you guys would really think if one of your entry, or if your entry was able to be selected, what that would mean for moving Cashmere wallet forward.
Yeah, Becca, you want to take that?
Yeah, like since we got our MVP out, we've been starting to work a lot more closely with customers and trying to like build out our user base. So like doing the hackathon and like trying to get more exposure has been like a really crucial part of our growth. So I mean, yeah, more publicity would be great. And also just like, I think building the sense of trust with the Cashmere platform is also really important for us. So having more backers and people like recognizing our project is really important.
Yeah, that's amazing. And really to start to tie this up, I think it's great that, when did you guys start building this again?
We started with this end of November.
Yeah.
So like early December is when it first started. And then.
But really what you're leaving out is like 75% of it was built at the Chicago Hacker House. Yeah.
Which is amazing to hear. So it's really like Cashmere Wallet is just getting started. So I'm really excited to see what you guys continue getting into, and to open it up, or what are some things you're excited for, maybe specifically for Cashmere Wallet, and then something you also are just ready to see on the Solana ecosystem as it continues to mature.
Do you have anything?
So the cool thing, the basically our wallet is only as good as the people building on Solana. So the more startups join on Solana, the more startups raise funding, the more relevant our wallet becomes. So that is we wholeheartedly support the growth of the ecosystem, and that's something that we're looking forward to. It's super exciting to see like more and more companies and DAOs and NFT projects come through on Solana. That is what gives me hope and what gets me excited every day. In terms of our features, like I said, we have NFTs coming out very, very soon, and we're working closely with like startups to see like, okay, where can we add value to their treasury management.
Yeah, so we have a long feature roadmap ahead of us. Trying to figure out prioritization is a very tough challenge, but it's very exciting.
Yeah.
I think even on a more personal note, I think like Shar and I have very much so experienced this, but like meeting more women in the space has been like an incredible part of like as we move forward, and like that's something I always look forward to. Like just meeting more women working in the Solana ecosystem or in crypto in general.
Yeah, and it's great to just see you guys embark on this sort of move away from the things that you guys were traditionally doing to build and innovate on what we're calling the new frontier, what's building in Web3. So I think it's really amazing to see all of this. And this really wraps up my discussion for today. I just want to thank you guys for coming on, displaying the wallet you built. It's amazing seeing these entries into the hackathon, seeing you guys bounce around, come out to Mountain DAO, continuing to build, and just watching the talent pour into the space. So with that being said, that's everything that we have today. Thank you guys all for coming on, Shashank, Rebecca, and Charlotte, and looking forward to what comes out of the future out of Cashmere Wallet.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having